WZR Radio starts now. You can join us in the live chat room at WZROnline.com/chat or call into the show at 518-712-3070.
I'm coming up for air so I can check myself again and I stand proven to the man but sheltered confidence
Now, here are your hosts, Matt Boone and Ryan Clark.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday, March 16th edition of WZR Radio here on WZROnline.com. I'm, as always, your host, Ryan Clark, joined by Matt Boone. What's up?
Holla. What's up, buddy?
Holla. How you doing, buddy? What happened last Tuesday?
I'm glad you said Tuesday, because you would have worded it wrong if you didn't say the word Tuesday there. But yeah, I just wasn't here. What do you want me to say?
Yeah,
I apologize.
I know. We weren't here last week. Took a week off. We had some technical problems. I put the chat post up, and then I couldn't get a hold of you, so we just figured you were actually ready to do a show on Thursday, I believe it was. We were gonna do a makeup, but I got kind of busy, and we weren't able to do that. Last week was a big week because we had the debut, I guess you could say, of
the Wars.
Yeah, the Monday Night Wars, they're back. We had last week and then this week again, TNA versus WWE. Just got the ratings in for last night's show, and not so good.
Yeah, well, you could, since we weren't here last week, I guess we could say the first Monday Night War rating was what, 3.4 for Raw and then a 1.0 for TNA, right?
It was last week 1.0 for TNA and what was W? I think it was 3.8, 3.7.
No. It was 3.4 last week for Raw, because then they went up this week to 3.7.
You're right. They dropped. Well, actually, it was like wasn't it a 3.7 about 3 weeks ago, and then it dropped down last week, and then it was and then it's back up this week. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. We'll talk about last week and then last night as well. Lots and lots of stuff here. We've got our live chat room, WZROnline.com/chat. Once again, WZROnline.com/chat. Get in there. Lots and lots of people. You know, WrestleMania is what, 2 weeks away? Not
this Sunday. Next Sunday, yeah.
Next Sunday. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania. It never does. I don't know if for the past few years it just hasn't felt like WrestleMania time.
It kind of feels like it for me. I don't know. I didn't realize there was only one Raw left, but it feels like it's coming up soon, kind of, to me at least.
It seems like they've added a lot of matches at the last minute. You know what I mean? We don't have a Divas match yet. Well,
they're going to do that. They set that up last night.
Yeah, it looks like a battle royal or something like that.
Or like a 6-woman tag or something. Yeah, they're going to be, at least those 6 are going to be involved.
Yeah, something. So we've got that, and then we had the Legacy match, right? I mean, that was just announced.
That's a train wreck, man. I can't believe it. It's a triple threat match, right?
It's a triple, but it was so good, dude. That storyline was so good weeks ago, and then they carried it on and on and on, you know.
Well, which version of the storyline? Because, it's changed a million times. But, no, I was saying it's a triple threat match. It feels like a handicap match. I mean, the setup last night was almost like Rhodes and DiBiase were a unit, no?
Yeah, and they've done that in recent weeks, you know what I mean, where they
teased dissension between them, and now they're friends again, and I have no idea what's going on. I can't keep up with that crap. You miss one week, you'll be lost.
It's crazy weird, because it is almost like a handicap match. And then didn't they just do a handicap match? Was it last week where it was Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase? Or was that?
I think so. I didn't watch Raw. I watched TNA last week.
Yeah, they're slowly turning Randy Orton face. But it's just, the storyline has changed.
Yeah, you're right, too. It's too slow, too, because I argued with you on our last show 2 weeks ago that you said they're kind of killing Orton's face turn because it could have been huge, and now it's not going to be so big. And I was like, hey, it still seems like it could be big when they finally do it, but yeah, they've cooled it off way too much for it to mean as much as it could have at one point, you know.
Yeah, dude, it's just, it's been so drawn out for weeks and weeks now, and then. They just added a stipulation to Brett versus Vince. I like like it when WrestleMania.
Well, we knew that was going to happen anyway. I mean, I didn't know if they were going to make it official. I mean, I didn't know if it was going to be called a street fight or no holds barred or no DQ or whatever, but we knew it wasn't going to be a straight match.
Yeah, I just like when you have, like, all the matches are set in stone with about 4 weeks to go. And then
When's the last time you've seen that, bro? Come on.
I know.
Well, first of all, you can never have, with WrestleMania you could because there's enough time between pay-per-views, but I mean, any other time, you're never going to have them done with 4 weeks because
I know.
As soon as the pay-per-view's over, there's 3 or 4 weeks until the next one, so.
Right, but drop that pay-per-view. What was the last pay-per-view that WWE just had? Drop that. The Elimination Chamber, right? Drop that pay-per-view and then just do a huge, long build to WrestleMania where all your matches are set in stone with about 4 weeks to go, and then do the storyline leading into the actual, you know what I mean?
There are a lot of problems could come with that, too, though. I mean, the way, plans could change, somebody could get injured, or, and there could just be too much time. I mean, because, like, with Brett and Vince, I don't know what they're going to do next week. It seemed like they finished that up last night with Brett finally revealing that he didn't have a broken leg. They signed the match. Everything's done. We realized Vince thought he was getting the better of Brett, but, Brett's got the better of Vince, so unless they switch it around again and screw Brett a little bit.
You know what I was thinking earlier, where they've gone back and forth, right, where Brett screwed Vince and Vince, whoever, but everybody screws everybody, right? Well, at WrestleMania, you do this thing where obviously it wouldn't have, there's no way it could happen because it's the two of them in a match, but just for shits and giggles, you know what I mean? You could do Steve Austin and Vince McMahon and Bret Hart at WrestleMania, screw the fans, you know what I mean? And then the next night on Raw come out and say, you know what, we screwed all of you. We didn't screw each other. It's something stupid, you know what I mean?
That sounds cute in a sentence form, but I mean, my God, if you're going to buy WrestleMania for that match and then we got you, that's retarded.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
Stupid.
What are you talking about?
It looks like, I know, I'm just saying for shit, it looks like Taker versus Shawn is going to be the main event. I mean, that's the big match with the video packages and all that. So, I mean, it's not a, They
didn't do anything with Taker and Shawn last night, did they?
No.
Shawn was there with the Stone Cold and backstage, and then he had the match with Jericho. There was nothing to do with Undertaker, though, not even a mention, really. I mean, other than asking Austin if he thinks he can beat him, right?
Yeah, you're right. I was actually on Impact.
They had a cool video package, though. They did have that with the streak for Undertaker. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they keep airing those cool video packages. So I was actually on Impact most of the night last night. I mean, what do you think? As far as, let's just say the last 2 weeks for the Monday Night War. You had the live Impact last week, which killed the Monday Night Raw. I mean, I don't care if you hate TNA.
Quality-wise, not business. I mean, Raw destroyed it in the ratings, but yeah.
Oh, obviously. As far as storylines, though, I mean, TNA Impact last week destroyed that show with Rob Van Dam debuted, and they had Hardy return, and just a lot of stuff going on Impact.
Well,
but
it was a good show. It was definitely better than Raw, but they destroyed RVD's debut.
Well,
my God. He had a 3-minute squash match, and he's the babyface, and he's got to jump the heel from behind to win, and then he gets his ass whooped immediately after the match. It's like, how would you debut a top star and then beat the shit out of him for 10 minutes? I was like, he just kept beating the crap out of him with the bat. He would get up, he would come back, beat him down more. He would leave, he would come back, beat him down. I was like, my God, this is his debut.
There was a problem where Hogan was over in another set, in another sound stage, and he wasn't there, so the Sting beating just went on and on and on and on.
Oh, yeah, I heard something about that. But even still, the idea to have RVD win a very quick match after cheating, basically hitting him from behind, and then getting his ass whooped, with the bat right after. Why would you do that? I don't understand the point.
That sets up, well, the way I saw it is, you had RVD come out, and he got the clean win, right? He got the pin, so that puts him over right there. And then you do the beatdown afterwards, and then you're building to, you're doing two things. You're making Sting into a monster heel, and then
but don't do it at RVD's expense, not with his debut, bro.
Yeah, but everybody wants to see. The match that everybody would want to see is Sting versus RVD, and that. It
looks like they're going with Sting and Hogan, man, not Sting RVD.
Yeah, I know.
You never know with TNA because what was it? Oh God, we'll dissect it when we get into the show. But they have matches and it ends the feud, and then they're gonna do it again at the pay-per-view, and you got to pay for it. But you've already seen everything that we'll talk about. There's 3 or 4 examples that I recall from watching because I watched Raw last night just because of Austin And because
Right.
TNA was taped, I figured I'd just download TNA because I didn't want to flip back and forth all night. I hate doing that because I miss stuff. So I watched Raw for the most part. I flipped a few times, but yeah, so I downloaded TNA and watched all of that too today. So I've seen everything, but TNA was definitely better last week. I thought TNA was awesome last night. I thought it was great.
Right. Well, TNA's been on fire. It's just people know Monday Night Raw is on Mondays, you know what I mean? Tune to USA, not Spike TV. It's just a matter of getting those things. Let's talk, before we get into, I guess we'll skip last week, but we're obviously going to run down Impact and Raw from last night, but the ratings just came out before we went on the air, and here's what we got. We'll talk about this quick, and